She's not safe up here. You should have never brought her.
Don't touch me! Dad said I'm safe.
The sky was a brilliant blue over Maplewood Heights, a pristine suburb in Northern Virginia, where every lawn was manicured to perfection and every mailbox adhered to strict community guidelines. I'm Tom Reynolds, a 55-year-old rescue helicopter pilot with 25 years of experience. And this is the story of how one woman's cruelty nearly destroyed my family and how I fought back to expose her for who she truly was. My daughter, Emily, is 12 years old and the light of my life. Born with spina bifida, she uses a wheelchair but radiates joy that could brighten the darkest day. Her laughter echoes through our modest ranch-style home, and her love for adventure, especially her dream to fly with me, keeps me going. But in Maplewood Heights, perfection is king, and the Homeowners Association president, Barbara Kessler, ruled with an iron fist. At 58, Barbara was the picture of suburban royalty. Her platinum hair was always flawless, her navy SUV gleamed, and her colonial-style mansion stood as a testament to her control. She enforced rules with zeal grass too long by an inch. Fined. Holiday lights up past January? Fined. To her, Emily's wheelchair was a blemish on her perfect neighborhood. Maplewood Heights was a tight-knit community, or so I thought. Families waved at each other during evening walks, and kids played in cul-de-sacs. But Barbara's influence loomed large. She'd issued me citations for trivial things. My mailbox was too reflective, my fence too rustic, my pickup truck parked at an odd angle. I paid the fines to avoid trouble. As a single dad, I couldn't afford to stir the pot. But I saw the way Barbara looked at Emily, her eyes cold, her smile tight. To Barbara, my daughter wasn't perfect enough for Maplewood Heights. 3 months ago, our neighborhood hosted its annual Skyfest, a fundraiser for the local middle school. I volunteered to give helicopter rides, charging $50 per person for a 10-minute flight over the rolling hills and tidy streets of Maplewood. The proceeds would buy new tablets for the school. Emily had begged me for weeks to take her up. "Dad, I want to touch the clouds," she'd say, her eyes sparkling. How could I say no? I spent weeks retrofitting my helicopter with a custom harness to keep her secure, practicing low-altitude routes to ensure a smooth ride. I even got her a tiny pilot's cap embroidered with co-pilot Emily. Skyfest morning was perfect, clear skies, no wind. Families gathered at the small airfield just outside town, kids chasing each other, parents sipping coffee from thermoses. Barbara arrived at 10 a.m. in her pristine SUV, wearing a tailored green dress and heels that never touched mud. She marched straight to me, her smile as fake as ever. "Tom," she said, her voice dripping with condescension, "you're not seriously taking Emily up, are you? It's a liability. What if she has an issue?" I kept my cool, checking the helicopter's controls. "She's been dreaming of this, Barbara. She's safe with me." Barbara stepped closer, her perfume overwhelming. "Think of the community's image, Tom. An incident could ruin Skyfest. People might talk. Emily's flying," I said firmly. End of story. Her face tightened, but she nodded. "Well, I'll be watching. For safety, of course." I should have seen the warning signs, but I was too focused on Emily's excitement to notice the storm brewing. The rides began at 11 a.m. Families piled into the helicopter, 4 at a time, gasping as we soared over Maplewood's cul-de-sacs and soccer fields. The donation jar overflowed. Emily waited patiently in her wheelchair, clapping as the helicopter took off and landed. Kids flocked to her, asking about flying, calling her brave. "I'm not brave," she giggled. "I'm just excited. My dad's the best pilot ever." My heart swelled. Emily had endured countless surgeries and therapy sessions, yet her spirit never wavered. At 2 p.m., it was her turn. I lifted her gently into the helicopter, her small frame light in my arms, and secured her in the custom harness, a 5-point system designed to keep her steady. "Ready, co-pilot?" I asked, adjusting her cap. "Ready, Captain Dad," she said, saluting with a grin. The crowd cheered as other kids waved, some parents wiping tears at Emily's joy. Then Barbara appeared. "I should come along," she said, her tone authoritative, "to ensure everything's safe." I didn't want her near Emily, but a few parents nodded, thinking she was being responsible. "Fine," I said through gritted teeth. "Sit in the back. Don't touch anything." We lifted off at 2:15 p.m., the helicopter humming smoothly. Emily squealed, pointing at tiny cars and shimmering pools below. "Dad, there's our house. There's my swing." Her joy was infectious, and for a moment, everything was perfect. We were 300 feet up when I heard a click of seatbelt unbuckling. In the rearview mirror, I saw Barbara's hands on Emily's harness. "Barbara, what are you doing?" I demanded over the headset. "She's uncomfortable," Barbara said, her voice calm but her eyes sharp. "I'm just adjusting her straps." "Don't touch her," I shouted, but it was too late. Barbara had undone the main chest strap. A gust of turbulence rocked the helicopter, tilting it slightly. Emily slid toward the open side door, her small hands grasping at air. "Dad," she screamed. I saw Barbara's hands on Emily's back, not steadying her, but pushing. "Barbara, no," I yelled, but the roar of the blades drowned me out. With one deliberate shove, Barbara sent Emily tumbling out. Time froze. My daughter fell, her pink dress fluttering, her pilot's cap glinting in the sun. She looked so small against the vast sky. Below, a safety net meant for equipment caught her, but she hit it hard, bouncing once before lying still. I landed in seconds, my hands shaking, heart pounding. I sprinted to the net, where Emily lay conscious but sobbing, her left arm twisted, blood trickling from her temple. "Dad, I'm sorry," she whispered. I tried to hold on. "It's not your fault, sweetheart," I said, cradling her. "You're okay." The ambulance arrived quickly. As paramedics tended to Emily, I scanned the crowd. Parents were in shock, kids crying. Barbara stood apart, her dress rumpled, hair askew, spinning a story. "It was an accident," she told everyone. The poor girl was squirming. I tried to help, but she fell so fast. I knew the truth. I'd seen her push Emily. But who would believe a grieving single dad over the HOA queen? Police took statements, and Barbara stuck to her lie, backed by 2 witnesses who claimed they saw her trying to save Emily. The officers noted my account, but focused on getting Emily to the hospital. "We'll investigate, Mr. Reynolds," they said, but their skepticism was clear. Emily's surgery lasted 5 hours. Doctors set her broken arm and stitched her head wound. When she woke, groggy but alive, she asked, "Did I mess up, Dad? Am I in trouble?" "No, baby," I said, holding her hand. "You're perfect." The community rallied around Emily. Kids brought cards. Parents dropped off casseroles, but Barbara stayed away, spreading rumors that I was a reckless father. The police closed the case a week later, calling it an accident due to insufficient evidence. But I wasn't done. Not by a long shot. I remembered the backup camera in my helicopter, installed years ago for safety. 3 days after the incident, I retrieved the footage. The video was grainy but damning. Barbara unbuckling Emily's harness, pushing her toward the door, her face cold and deliberate. It wasn't enough alone. Her lawyers could claim it was inconclusive, but it was a start. I needed a confession. I dug into Barbara's past. Neighbors whispered about families she'd driven out. The Garcias, evicted after false noise complaints. Mrs. Larson, bullied into selling her home over unkempt roses. The Thompsons, fined into bankruptcy for minor violations. All were imperfect in Barbara's eyes, too ethnic, too old, too poor. I learned she owned 2 rental properties, illegally hiking rents and skimming HOA funds. Barbara wasn't just cruel, she was corrupt. My chance came at the Maplewood Winter Gala, a glitzy event Barbara organized. She'd booked helicopter rides for wealthy donors at $500 a pop, signing up for the first flight to flaunt her status. I saw my opportunity. I rigged the helicopter with a high-quality camera and hidden microphone, planning a route over Lake Harrison, isolated, dark, perfect for confrontation. I programmed controlled tilts to unsettle her without risking safety. The night before, I tested everything. It was ready. The gala sparkled at the Maplewood Country Club, chandeliers glinting, champagne flowing. Barbara, in a crimson gown, played the gracious host. I arrived in my pilot's uniform, fielding questions about Emily, who was recovering but haunted by nightmares. Barbara avoided me, but I caught her nervous glances. At 9 p.m., the rides began. Barbara boarded with 3 VIPs, a realtor named Linda, a surgeon named Greg, and a councilman named Richard, all her allies. "Smooth flight, Tom," Barbara said, adjusting her dress. Don't ruin my evening. I smiled. This'll be unforgettable. We soared over Maplewood's twinkling lights. Barbara pointed out landmarks, basking in attention. After 10 minutes, I veered toward Lake Harrison. Where are we going? Barbara asked, frowning. Thought you'd like the lake view, I said casually. At 200 feet above the water, I hovered, the moon's reflection our only light. Barbara, I said over the headset, why did you push Emily? Silence. The VIPs shifted, confused. That's absurd, Barbara snapped. It was an accident. I saw you undo her harness, I said. I saw you push her. I saw the hatred in your eyes. You're delusional, she said, but her voice wavered. I triggered a controlled tilt, making the helicopter lurch. Gasps filled the cabin. What was that? Linda cried. Turbulence, I said. Barbara, why did you push my daughter? I didn't, she shouted. Another tilt, sharper this time. She gripped her seat. Stop it, Tom. You'll kill us. I'm a professional, I said. Just like you were professional when you targeted Emily. I steadied the helicopter, letting the rotors hum fill the silence. I have footage. I know about the families you ruined, the Garcias, Mrs. Larson, the Thompsons. I know about your rental scams, your HOA theft. Barbara's face crumpled. I was protecting Maplewood. Property values, standards. By pushing a 12-year-old girl out of a helicopter? Greg interrupted, horrified. I didn't mean for her to fall. Barbara sobbed. I just wanted to scare them, make them leave. She didn't belong here. You pushed her, I said. Admit it. Yes, she whispered, tears streaming. I pushed her. I didn't mean for her to get hurt. I'm sorry. The VIPs stared, stunned. Richard spoke up. Tom, this is dangerous. Take us back. I nodded, flying back in silence. Barbara curled into her seat, broken. Police waited at the airfield, tipped off by Richard. Barbara was arrested for attempted murder and child endangerment. The story exploded. HOA tyrant confesses to pushing disabled girl from helicopter dominated local news. The footage and audio sealed her fate. Her real estate empire collapsed. Her properties were seized, and her allies abandoned her. The trial lasted 4 months. With overwhelming evidence-me video, the gala recording, witness testimonies, she was convicted and sentenced to 12 years. Maplewood's HOA was dissolved, replaced by a community council focused on inclusion. Emily's recovery was slow but steady. Therapy helped her nightmares fade, and a year later, she flew again. I'm not scared, Dad, she said, strapped into the helicopter. You've got me. Her courage inspired Maplewood. Families she'd driven out returned, and the neighborhood became a beacon of acceptance. 10 years later, Emily, now 22, is a disability rights lawyer, advocating for accessibility nationwide. She earned her pilot's license and flies with me sometimes, her laughter filling the skies. Barbara, released after 8 years, lives quietly in a small Ohio town, working at a food bank. She wrote Emily an apology. Emily responded with forgiveness, wishing her peace. Maplewood Heights is unrecognizable now, a vibrant, diverse community. The old HOA office is a rec center with a plaque honoring Emily for teaching us that differences make us stronger. My foundation, Emily's Wings, has given free helicopter rides to over 4,000 disabled kids, their smiles echoing Emily's first flight. I don't regret confronting Barbara. Justice, not revenge, was my goal. Emily taught me in Maplewood that love and resilience triumph over hate. As we landed after a recent flight, Emily grinned. Best team in the sky, right, Dad? Always, I said.